Pastor Roy Gerhardt from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. Well, it's a Tuesday for two, and this is where we look at God's grace in our relationships. And this week in the scripture in Mark 5, we saw Jesus minister to people with very deep personal compassion and love. There was a woman who snuck through the crowd trying to reach Jesus. She seemed fearful of exposure, so that she didn't come and approach him directly. Instead, she believed that if she could just touch the edge of his robe, that she could be healed. And it seemed as if that's all that she wanted, was to touch the edge of his robe, just to barely get close to him and then slip away. Well, when she touched his robe, she felt immediately something had happened. She felt it in her body. She felt that she was in fact healed instantly in that moment. But she was just going to slip away then. This was a state of mind that may have come about because of years and years, 12 years in fact, of suffering with a bleeding condition that Jesus healed. Because you see, this condition would have made her a social outcast, a pariah, someone who was unclean spiritually. And everyone that she came in contact with then would be affected. And their ability to go to worship and to participate in religious activities would be limited. And so she had come to expect rejection. And she had come to live as someone who had to be excluded from a lot of things. Being in that crowd was a risk to her. Touching this rabbi was frightening. But when Jesus felt her touch him, and he didn't feel this physically, but he felt something spiritually. He felt this power go from him to her in healing. When he felt that connection, he turned and said, "Who touched me?" His disciples thought it was crazy because there were so many people in this crowd that was very aggressively pushing, shoving, bumping, and reaching to touch him. They thought, who touched you? How can we say? But Jesus was insistent, and he persisted in looking for the person who had touched him. And this woman came forward and told him, confessed what she had done. And all the while it says she was trembling with fear. But Jesus wasn't seeking her out to rebuke her, to criticize her, or punish her in any way. He wanted to bless her. He wanted to speak to her and let her know that she was recognized, that she was known and loved and cared for. He was going to send her home not as this anonymous person who had reached out and barely got close to him but was healed. He wanted to send her home as someone who had met Jesus, who had heard him speak with her, and had blessed her, saying, "Your faith has made you well. Be at peace. Go home. Your suffering is over." Jesus wants to reach us with his love and compassion. He doesn't want us to be people left on the outskirts who are barely able to feel close to him, people who are frightened, in fact, to reach out to him in our need. But he wants us to be people who know him, who have talked with Jesus and who have heard his voice and who have experienced his grace. So may God bless you today. And as you share his good news, may God make you a blessing wherever he takes you.